Hey, Jack. I have to tell you about something that happened to me in the break room earlier today, and honestly, it was so frustrating. I was standing there with these two important reports that I needed to join together before the afternoon meeting. My coworker Sarah was standing right next to the coffee machine, just waiting for her espresso, and I wanted to ask her if I could use the stapler. I was looking right at it. I could see the silver metal, the black plastic top, and the little row of staples inside. I knew exactly what it was in my own language, but when I opened my mouth to speak, the English word just vanished. It was like my brain suddenly turned into a blank whiteboard. I stood there for what felt like forever, just pointing at the desk and making a weird clicking motion with my hand. I felt so embarrassed because I'd been studying so hard, yet I couldn't remember a simple word like stapler. It felt like all my progress just disappeared in that one moment of silence.
Emma, believe it or not, that is actually one of the most common experiences for English learners at the intermediate level. It feels like a failure, but it's actually a very important crossroad for your brain. When you hit that wall where a word is missing, you have two choices. Most people choose the first path, which is to stop the conversation, pull out their phone, and open a translation app. They find the word, they say it, and the interaction continues. But here is the secret that nobody tells you. The moment you looked at that app, your brain switched back to your native language. You broke the English connection. You stopped thinking in English and went back to translating. Every time you do that, you make it harder for your brain to stay in the English zone the next time. That is the translation trap, and it is the biggest obstacle to real fluency. If you can learn to stay in English even when you don't know the word, that is when your brain truly starts to grow.
That makes so much sense, but it's so hard in the moment. When Sarah was looking at me, I felt this huge pressure to be perfect. I felt like if I didn't have the exact noun, I shouldn't say anything at all. It's like I have this rule in my head that says I must find the perfect word or I'm not really speaking English. But you're saying that reaching for the phone is actually what's holding me back. I want to stay in that English zone, but how am I supposed to talk if I don't have the words? It feels like trying to build a house without any bricks. If I don't have the name of the object, I feel stuck.
That's where the description pivot comes in. Think of it like a detour on a road. If the main road is blocked because you forgot a word, you don't just turn around and go home. You take a side street to get to the same destination. Instead of focusing on the name of the object, you focus on what the object does or what it looks like. You use the words you already have to describe the word you don't have. It keeps the conversation moving, and more importantly, it keeps your brain thinking in English. Before we dive into the specific formulas for this, I want to remind everyone listening that this is exactly what we do here at Pocket English Podcast. We help you handle these real-life moments with simple, natural language. If you want to stop feeling stuck and start feeling confident, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss these practical survival lessons. By subscribing, you're telling your brain that you're committed to the English-only path.
I love that idea of a detour. So in the break room today, instead of standing there silently or looking at my phone, I could have used a pivot. But I didn't know how to start. What is the first step when my mind goes blank like that? How do I actually start the description without sounding totally confused?
The first and most powerful tool in your pocket is the function formula. It is very simple. You use the phrase, "it is the thing you used to," followed by a verb. This works for almost any object in the world. Think about it. We don't actually need the name of a tool if we can describe its job. For example, if you forgot the word stapler, you could say, "Could I use the thing you used to join papers together?" You see what happened there? You didn't use the noun, but Sarah would know exactly what you meant. You stayed in English, you solved your problem, and you kept your confidence. Let's try another one. Imagine you are in a kitchen and you want to boil some water, but you forget the word kettle. Instead of panicking, you just say, "Where is the thing you used to boil water?" It's simple, it's natural, and it works every time because you're focusing on the action.
That sounds so much easier than trying to search through a mental dictionary. It is the thing you use to boil water. It is the thing you use to join papers. I can feel my brain relaxing just thinking about that. It takes the pressure off finding that one specific noun. But what if the thing I'm looking for isn't a tool? What if it's something like a coaster? You know, those little circles you put under a drink so you don't ruin the table. How would I use the formula for something like that?
Great question. For a coaster, you just think about its purpose. You could say, "Hey, can I have one of those things you put under a cup?" Or, "I need the thing that protects the table from the glass." You are just describing the function. Let's practice a few more of these together, because the more you say these patterns, the more they become automatic. Imagine you're at a friend's house and you want to change the channel on the TV, but you forget the word remote control. You could say, "Can you give me the thing you use to change the TV?" Or imagine you have a loose thread on your shirt and you need scissors. You could say, "Do you have the thing you use to cut fabric?" The goal isn't to be a walking dictionary. The goal is to communicate your needs using the simple English you already know. Try to think of one object near you right now and describe it using the phrase, "It is the thing you use to," and see how easy it feels. I'm looking at my desk right now and I see my tweezers. That's a hard word. I could say, "It's the thing I use to pick up small things." This is actually kind of fun. It feels like a game rather than a test. But Jack, sometimes I'm not trying to describe a tool or an action. Sometimes I'm trying to describe a thing that just exists, like a specific type of vehicle or a part of a building. The function formula might not work for everything. Is there another detour I can take when I'm trying to describe what something is, rather than what it does? Absolutely. That leads us to our second detour, which we call the comparison pivot. This is perfect for when you know a similar, simpler word, but you are missing the specific one. The formula for this is, it's like a, then you say a simple word, but then you add an adjective or a detail. It's like a house, but smaller. It's like a car, but with two wheels. This is incredibly effective because it uses a mental map. You are starting with a word you definitely know and then just adjusting it. For instance, if you forget the word moped or scooter, you can say, "It's like a bicycle, but it has a motor." Or if you are trying to describe a balcony, you could say, "It's like a small patio, but it is on the second floor." You are using the simple word as a foundation and then building on top of it. Oh, I see. So for the word slippers, which I always forget for some reason, I could say, "They are like shoes, but you wear them inside the house." Or for a laptop, I could say, "It's like a computer, but you can carry it in your bag." This is so helpful because it allows me to use basic vocabulary to explain complex ideas. It's like I'm drawing a picture with my words. But Jack, I sometimes worry that people will think I'm being childish if I don't use the exact word. Does it sound strange to native speakers when someone describes things this way? That is such a common fear, but the truth is actually the opposite. Native speakers do this all the time. Even I forget words in my own language. I might say, "Hey, can you pass me the thingy for the wine?" And the other person knows I mean the corkscrew. When you use the description pivot, you actually sound more fluent because you are keeping the rhythm of the conversation. Long silences and pulling out a phone are what make a conversation feel awkward. Moving smoothly around a missing word shows that you are comfortable with the language. It shows that you have the skills to solve problems in real time. That is what true B1 level fluency looks like. It's not about knowing every word. It's about knowing how to survive without every word. Remember, the next time you feel that panic rising, just stop and choose one of your two detours. Either describe what it does or compare it to something else. I feel so much better hearing that. It really changes my perspective on what it means to be fluent. It's about the flow, not the perfection. I want to try a little exercise to see if I can do this under pressure. Why don't you give me a few words that might be tricky for an intermediate learner, and I'll try to use one of the pivots to describe them. And for everyone listening at home or on your commute, try to think of your own description before I say mine. This is a great way to train your brain to stay in English mode. That's a fantastic idea. Let's start with a word you might need if you are traveling. The word is suitcase. How would you describe that without using the noun? Okay, let's see. I'll use the function formula first. It is the thing you use to carry your clothes when you go on a trip. Or I could use the comparison pivot. It's like a big bag, but it is hard and it has wheels. How was that? Perfect. Both of those would get you exactly what you need at an airport or a hotel. Let's try another one. This one is something you find in a house. The word is ceiling fan. Oh, that's a good one. I'll use the comparison pivot for this. It's like a big machine with blades, but it is on the top of the room and it makes the air cool. Or using the function formula, it's the thing you use to stay cool in the summer when you are inside.
Spot on. You see how you didn't need the word ceiling or fan to make me understand exactly what you were talking about. You stayed entirely in English the whole time. You didn't look at a screen and you didn't think in your native language. This is how you build that muscle. Every time you do this, your brain gets faster at finding these detours. Eventually, you'll find that you don't even worry about forgetting words anymore because you know you can always talk your way around them. This is the ultimate freedom in a second language. You aren't a prisoner to your vocabulary list anymore. You are a communicator. It really does feel like freedom. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to be afraid of the break room or the grocery store anymore, but I know that I need to practice this so I don't forget it when I'm actually stressed. What is a simple way for me and the listeners to make this a habit? Because it's one thing to do it now while we're talking, but it's another thing to do it when I'm actually standing in front of someone like Sarah. You are absolutely right. Consistency is the key to turning this into a natural reflex. Here is your challenge for today. We call it the No Dictionary Hour. Pick 1 hour today. Maybe it's your lunch break or your commute home, or even just an hour while you are making dinner. During that hour, you are not allowed to use a translation app. If you are thinking to yourself in English and you realize you don't know the word for the vegetable you are cutting or the street sign you are passing, you must use a description pivot. Say it out loud, even if you are alone. Say, I am cutting the thing that is like a small onion but purple. Or I am walking past the thing you use to mail letters. By doing this when the stakes are low and you are alone, you are training your brain to react this way when the stakes are high and you are talking to someone else. I'm going to do that tonight while I'm cooking. I always forget the names of my spices, so that will be a great test. It sounds like a fun way to spend an hour, and I know it's going to help me stay in that English zone. I hope everyone listening tries this too. It's such a small thing, but I can see how it would make a huge difference over time. It really does. And if you found this helpful, please take a moment to like this video and share it with a friend who is also learning English. When you share these lessons, you're helping our community grow and helping more people break free from the translation trap. We want to see everyone moving from that frustrated silence to confident, flowing conversation. You have all the tools you need right now in your current vocabulary to say almost anything. You just have to be brave enough to take the detour. Thank you so much, Jack. I feel ready to go back into that break room tomorrow. If I forget the word for stapler again, I'm just going to ask for the thing that joins papers, and I'm going to do it with a smile. I'm not going to let a missing word stop my English growth. That's the spirit, Emma. Remember, your English grows one pocket-sized episode at a time, but only if you keep the English engine running. Don't let the translation trap stall your progress. Go out there, try the No Dictionary Hour, and watch how much more confident you feel by the end of the day. You've got this, and we'll be here to help you every step of the way. Keep practicing, keep pivoting, and let your English grow.